So in this video, we're going to go over how to do advanced walls. So basically like reveals, sweeps, how to assign layers, how to cut your wall into pieces. So the first thing we want to do is just to kind of show you. So when you select wall, and we're going to choose this exterior brick CMU, when you go to edit type, if you chose a generic wall, in most cases actually on the box first, down here it's going to look like this. If you select preview, it'll expand and it'll show you a section view, side view and top view of the wall that you have selected. But in most cases, when you go to structure, if you're trying to edit a wall, the thickness, the only thing you're going to see is this. It's going to say structure and it's going to say the thickness of the wall. If you choose an additional preset that already has like brick or CMU, you're going to see additional layers. And over here on the side, it's going to show you all of those. It's going to show you the different sections of the wall. So basically, you can add and delete some of these layers depending on the wall. You can't always delete. But if you wanted to add like another finish or something like that, you would click insert, and we'll go through that in just a little bit. But down here at the bottom is your modify. So we have reveal, sweep, split regions, merge regions, assign layers, and modify. Modify is basically just like your selection tool. So in this case, there's 3 reveals on this wall. So if we select reveals, it's going to show we have 3. Each one is a reveal of a brick or one brick. And then it shows like distance, from where, and which side, and offset, and stuff like that. So what it's showing is each one of these little boxes is basically a box showing you that an area is being removed. So in this area of the wall here where there's brick, this section is being removed of 1 brick. If you click on here, you could change it. So maybe if you wanted 2 or 3 bricks, so I can click 3, apply, and it will change it to that distance. But in this case, I'm going to switch it back because I didn't do duplicate. So we're going to hit cancel on that. First, I guess here at distance, you're going to set the distance either from the base or from the top. So if you click here, you can change it to top, and then also the side of the wall. So next on this particular wall here, we have 3 sweeps. So if we go here, up at the top is a parapet, wall sweep, and then a sill precast. So basically up here is the parapet. We have a sweep here. What did it say? Oh, just a wall sweep of brick. Basically this brick is going to be vertical instead of horizontal. And then there's an additional sweep down here. So merge regions, we're going to go through that on a different wall. Same thing with split regions, and then assign layers. So I'm going to go ahead and just exit out of here, and then we'll switch to generic 6, go to edit type, and then of course I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to call it custom 6. Click OK. And then when you're doing this, you want to make sure you're in the section, not floor plan view of your wall. So make sure you're in section, and then go to structure. And kind of like I said a little bit earlier here, the only thing we can see is structure showing 6 inches. There's no additional layers or reveals or sweeps or anything on this wall yet. So first thing to do reveals, if we select here, you can do add, and then it's going to add a reveal to your box. And then if you go by default, it's going to show a couple presets. If you don't like what is seen there, you can go load profile, scroll down to profiles, go to wall, and there's a couple additional options that you can choose from for like sweeps and stuff like that. But in this case, we're not going to do that. I'm just going to choose, let's see here, 3 brick reveal, distance of, let's say 4 feet from the base on the exterior side. Sounds good. So when you click apply, it's going to show you in blue what exactly is happening here on the wall. And let's say I want more. So I'm going to do add, same thing, 3 from the bottom, let's do 6 foot, apply, and then OK. One thing before you get too far into customizing this with like reveals and everything like that, up here where it says sample height, make sure that that is whatever size the wall is that you're using. So if it's 10 feet, make sure this is 10 feet so it gives you a better representation of what your wall is actually going to look like. So next up is sweeps. Kind of works the same way. You can add, you can also load. So I'm going to go add, and then here's some options that are already made. So in this case, case, I'm just going to use a parapet here, 14-inch. You can change the material if you want to, the distance where it's set up. We're just going to do 0, 0 from the top, so it's sitting up here, and then everything else looks good. Click apply, and there it is. So next up is, let's do split region. So split region is simply kind of exactly how it sounds. You're going to cut your wall into pieces. So if we zoom in, basically your mouse now is an X-Acto knife, and it's going to show a black line, and it's also, depending on how far you zoom in or out, it's going to give you in blue a temporary dimension of where you're at. So let's say I want to cut the wall here and then here as well. So just simply by left clicking, now my wall is divided into 3 sections. If you move your mouse to the top of the wall, you're going to see that the black line is now going vertically. So it's going to divide your wall in thickness, so vertically. So in this case, I just go ahead and click twice. One thing you want to be very careful about when you do this, do not hit escape during any process while inside of this box. Do not hit escape, because you're going to exit out and you're going to lose every change that you made during this while you were in here. So all sweeps, all reveals, they're all going to be gone. Okay, so please be careful that you do not hit escape. So next is merge regions. So you'll know if something's selected when it's blue. How it works is it's going to merge an area. So for example, let's say I wanted to merge these top 2 sections because I added an extra line. Simply choose merge regions, select the line you want to get rid of, and now that region is one. Next is assign layers. So first thing I need to do is I need to create a finish. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to click up here in the layers area, so I can select insert, and then it's going to create structure. But I already have a structure of 6 inches, and you can see here the thickness has changed to variable, because if you have 2 structural elements, you might have to adjust the thickness. But in this case, instead of structural, I'm going to go to finish number 1, change the category to oak flooring, and then click OK. And then here at thickness, I'm just going to keep it as 0, just because it's going to be a finish and it's going to be filling in this entire area. So there, I'm just going to kind of click off here into the free space, and then I'm going to go to assign layers. So actually, before I do that, I want to select what I'm using, so finish number 1, and then assign layers, and then you're going to take your mouse to the area that you want to fill in or change, and then I'm going to select that space. And now you should see probably like a hatching up here, and in blue it should be highlighted as well. And then if you kind of like click off into the free space or go back to modify, you're going to see a change in color. Okay, so basically what's showing is now that entire area is filled in with oak flooring. Let's say if you wanted to fill this area in with something else, you could just do an additional finish. So go back up here to layers, add structural, don't want. I'm going to do finish number 2 by category. Let's do stainless steel carbon, why not? And then select it, so steel carbon, assign layers, choose the area, go back to modify, and now it's changed. So I'm just going to go ahead, click OK to exit out, and then real quick just draw a wall just to kind of show you what it'll end up looking like. Jump into 3D view, switch to consistent colors, and then I can see there my walls are actually backwards because I want the design to be on the outside. So selecting the wall, clicking on my arrows, there we go, switch back to 3D view. Nice. So real quick, so at the bottom here we have the 2 reveals that we made. We have this area that we cut out using the split region. Same thing here, we assign the layer of wood to this space, and then up at the top is the parapet that we added using the sweep tool. So basically that's how you go through custom wall. Just be very careful if you start customizing walls, be sure that you do a duplicate, otherwise you could really mess up your building. And also as you're going through and making changes, in the edit type where you're like going into the structure, actually I need to be in wall so you can see what I'm talking about. Edit type, when you go into the structure, be very careful that you don't hit escape because you can lose a lot of your progress.